let's create the functional component. So React components are a JavaScript function that returns the markup. So what is mean by markup? Okay, the thing is like here you can see I already told you there are two type of the component. First one is functional component, which we are seeing now, and the next one we are going to see, that is the class component. So functional component, it is the like most recommended and the simplest way of creating the component. So functional components, if you see this one, it's nothing but the simple function. It's a simple JavaScript function, okay, which returns the markup. Okay, so here you can see this is the first component. It's nothing but the JavaScript function. Okay, inside that body it is returning the HTML tags, nothing but the markups. Okay, so this is the JSX syntax. Okay, JSX means the JavaScript XML. Okay, so functional component, it's nothing but the JavaScript function which returns the markup. Okay, again to if you want to simplify, you can say the functional component, it's nothing but the JavaScript function which returns the HTML UI. That's it. Okay, so here you can see in front of this function signature, okay, we have added two variables. First one is two keywords. I would say it's a keyword. The first one is export and the second one is default. So export, it's used so that the React will understand this function can be used outside of this file. Okay, this is we can use in another component. So to make it available for the other component, we have to declare this function as a export. Then the second one is default. So default means inside this function, inside this JavaScript file, okay, this is the main function. This is the function which should be considered as a functional component. Okay, so that's why here we have declared as a default, so that React will consider this function is a main function of this file. Okay, now let's try by the practical. Alright, so here this is the project which we created using the command line. Okay, now let's create another folder inside the source. Okay, I will give the name as a components. Okay, so I have created the new folder. I have given the name as a components. So let's create our first component. Okay, so to that, just right click on this component, create a new file. Okay, just give the name as a first functional component dot JSX. Okay, so JSX is nothing but the JavaScript XML. Okay, you can write as a .js also. Okay, but I will recommend it to use the JSX, because JSX is the like somewhat strict than the JS. We have to use it like a particular format, so I would recommend you to go with the JSX. If you want to use the JS file, it's mostly simple, mostly same. Whatever you want, you can try it. I will show you both. Okay, in coming videos I will show you the .js as well as .jsx. Okay, so now this is the first functional components.jsx. Let me correct the spelling. Okay, functional component.jsx. Okay, now the first most important thing, we have to import React from React. Alright, this is the first import statement we have to add. Okay, now the second one is like we have to create the functional component. So as I told you, it's a JavaScript function. So function, I will give the same name as a first functional component. Okay, this is the JavaScript function which returns the UI. That's it. This is the signature of your component. So from this we have to return our JSX. So here I will use the h1 tag. Okay, after that here I will close this. Make sure guys you are closing the tags whenever you are using, okay, any tags. Okay, now I will write down here, welcome to my first functional component. Alright, so this is the smallest component which we have created. Okay, so which has the only the title welcome to my first functional component. Okay, so to see this, okay, so as soon as we saved it, okay, it should recompile. Okay, now just try and hit here localhost 3000. Okay, so here you can see it is not reflecting, our changes is not seeing here. Okay, so what is the most important things we have to include in the app component, because the now currently which component is loading? App component. Now I have to combine or I have to attach my functional component to the app component. So what I will do, I will open app.js file. This is nothing but the app component, right? So here I will remove this all things. Okay, let's save it. Let's check what is happening on the UI. Let it compile first. Okay, alright, here you can see it's a compiled successfully with some warnings. Okay, that is not an issue because we have this import statement of logo but we are not using, so that's why it is showing the warning, it is never used. Okay, so see here, now you can see it's compiled successfully. Now let's go to this page. Oh, but nothing is displaying now. Okay, so the thing is like we have removed everything. Now it's a blank component. I have to include my first component here. So how to include this here? So I have to use the tag, HTML tag with the name of our component first. Alright, but I am not getting any suggestion here. First functional component. Why? Because we have not declared here export function, right? So we have to make it as a available for the other components, so that we have to declare here export default, okay, and function. Now if you go here, now check functional component, okay, and opening and closing. Okay, so what I have did, whatever the first functional component name that I copied, okay, I pasted here and as the HTML tag, and I used as a HTML tag, means I have added the first functional component inside the app component. Okay, so whatever the content of this first component, first functional component, is the part of now app component, so that it should display on our web. Right, now let's check whether it is displaying or not. Wow, so here you can see welcome to my first component, okay, functional component. Let me change some here, let me put dot 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 dot. Now Control S, recompiled. Wow, so here you can see how this functional component working. So to summarize this one, what we have did, we have created the one folder components. It is not mandatory, but it's recommended to have separate folder for the, if we have the some particular business logic. Okay, so now once we created this folder, I have created the one first functional component. Now I have given the name as the first functional component for the better understanding. So what I did, I have created new file with the first functional component .jsx. You can use the .js file as well. Okay, now once we created this file, the first important thing, we have to import the React from the React. After that we have to create the function. Okay, I have given the name as a first functional component. Inside that we have to return the HTML. Okay, so this is nothing but the markup. So this is the JavaScript function which returning the markup, that is nothing but the functional component. Hope so guys, you are clear with the how to create the functional component in the React. If you are new to channel, okay, please do subscribe, like and share the video, and do not forget to click on the notification bell icon so that whenever the new upload or new tutorial series has started, you will get the notification. So please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.